Glasgow Warriors will close out their regular season today in their final match, round 22 of the Rabodirect Pro 12. It is the Glasgow Warriors travelling away to face Connacht. Hello everyone and welcome along to Cornflakes Group, your home of Rugby Challenge 2 and the Rabodirect Pro 12, where it is the final round of the regular season. Of course, the Glasgow Warriors are already guaranteed a spot in the semis, so a chance here for them to gain some momentum, albeit in the pouring rain, which is not the best for momentum, but they have, well, a lowly placed Connacht side up against them. They are 11th on the table, but going by what's happened to the Northampton Saints recently, if you've been tuning into the Aviva Premiership Series, you can't take those bottom place sides too lightly. They have had just 3 wins this season and they go with 18 losses. Their most recent results were an 80-0 loss to Ulster, and of course before that 36-19, another loss to Edinburgh. These two sides met back in round 4, where it was Glasgow who took out a massive 42-7 victory over this Connacht side. As for Glasgow, well, their form has been indifferent, it has to be said. They've got the semi-final spot wrapped up, 4th is all guaranteed, but a bit of a B team last week, had a bit of a struggle to beat Ospreys, but they did the job and they got it done. This week, the main players returned to the side, all except a couple they played last week, the like of Hogg sitting out. Maitland will take his spot at fullback. Dunbar retains his outside centre jersey. He's joined by McGeegan in the centres. Lamont, typically in the 13, he goes out to the wing for today's match, and it is Rob Harley who keeps a spot too on the open side flank. So a bit of a higher strength Glasgow side today for Connacht as they look to build momentum going forward into those massive matches of semi-finals for the Rabodirect Pro 12. It will be Connacht at home for the final time this season. The last chance for their fans to see their side. Kicking off in the green, and Parks, the captain, gets us underway for round 22. And Glasgow playing in their away strip of the white get the game underway nicely with the good run from Lamont, who takes the ball to ground. Of course, the last thing Glasgow will want here is injuries to any players, as McGeegan runs it off the back. Jackson back in the line. Oh, Kellick has thrown that miles off the mark, and it goes thundering into touch. Well, I don't know who he was passing that to, but the only man who was close to it was the one in the first row of the stand. And it's given a chance for Connacht from the set piece. Cooney throws in. Of course, Cooney, the prop, who was playing at hooker tonight, which is an interesting selection from Connacht, as it is a good run from Naupu, giving it to Parks. And they're driving on the back of Parks here. It is Naupu joining with Falloon to go for the drive. Now they go out. It's McCurran going in so nicely to Pullman. Again, he's held up as well. Glasgow try to drive him back. Griffin goes around the corner for Wilkinson. Back in again. Oh, there are all sorts of ways here, Connacht. Eventually Parks takes it to ground. Naupu going wide. It's a good pass. And it's advantage for Connacht for an offside. Good play from Murphy to get that away. And he really caught the Glasgow player in the offside position. There it was. That was the pass from Murphy that really opened it up. And this is a great chance for 3 here. You'd have to put it, and you do. Parks will line it up. And a great chance for Connacht here. Could take the early lead through Parks. Easy one, surely in the pouring rain, and it is 3 points to Connacht. And they take this lead. Round 22 of the Rabodirect Pro 12. Connacht lead 3-0. Glasgow almost back up to full strength here. How's the rain going to affect their match plan? Jackson kicks off. He goes deep down in the pouring rain again. And it's taken from Henshaw, who returns the kick. Oh, mistake there. Maitland eventually goes back for it. Lamont, the man with the mistake. Now he's thrown a wild pass. Oh, goodness me. He's gifting them the ball. And Pullman goes into touch thanks to an assist from Cusack. But boy, Lamont missed that ball, missed that kick. Jumping forward at a horrible time and then throwing it to no one, just giving possession away. Cussiter, a rare start for him, giving it to Seymour. His pass is caught on the bounce and Dunbar. Oh, he's through. He's broken one tackle. Gets away from Parks' effort. Eventually take him to ground as a defence. Numbers up on him. Oh, but this could turnover here for Connacht. They spread it wide. The defence is in disarray. They weren't looking for a turnover at all. And it's here for Henshaw. Back inside. Naupu going for the line. It's a try for Connacht. Fantastic work from the massive number 8, Naupu. Connacht taking 8-0 lead. And look at this. The defence was just an absolute mess. Henshaw made the final pass. It was a ripper, but it was great speed. The 2 number 8s there, bailing it out. Naupu got there in the end, but the defence was just completely disjointed. Of course, a turnover they weren't expecting. They were setting up were the Glasgow side for an attack. The ball come out on Connacht's side. And the rest, as they say, is history. A great run through the heart from Naupu. And it gives Dan Parks a chance to make it 10. An easy one from right in front. And Glasgow are looking in a spot of trouble here as Connacht take their lead up to 10-0 over Glasgow. Still very early days though. 22 minutes only gone. 3/4 of the match remains as Jackson gets us back underway. Good chase from Seymour. Gives it back to Jackson. He offloads. Strauss is there. Forward pass and advantage to Connacht. Poor play. And that will go to Hunter. Shocking pass. They look good. They were offloading. They were breaking. Oh, that is disgusting.
Crouch. Touch.
Maybe you should try some gridiron because that was just as bad as you could possibly get. Connacht get the put in and Murphy feeds the scrum. The try scoring number 8 is waiting for it at the back. Is he going to run it himself or give it to Murphy? He goes to Murphy. Oh, but it was read beautifully from Cussiter and Vernon comes across and hits the high one. Oh, they're just giving this match away to Connacht at the moment. There is no look of momentum in this Glasgow jersey at the moment. The 11th place Connacht side, kick for touch. They go about 30 metres out from Glasgow's line. Dan Parks having a good match in the number 10 jumper. And another line out here for Connacht. Just inside the 10-metre line, nicely taken. Good work from Kearney. And he sets it up for the Connacht side. Now Murphy goes to the big number 8 who feeds it wide. O'Halloran going up against Maitland. Oh, this could be another brilliant try. It is for Connacht. Unbelievable stuff. How easy was that? What is going on with Connacht? They have their tails up. And Falloon scores the second try. Look at Naupu. He fed that out wide. And O'Halloran just pops it back in. He had 5 defenders on him, but the pass inside was immaculate and it found the man. Oh, look at this Glasgow defence. It is an absolute mess. And those other 4 players who did not tackle O'Halloran could do nothing but stand and watch as the blindside flanker just trots over for Connacht's second try. Of course, a penalty to go with it, and it's 15-0 kick to come for Dan Parks, which is flawless, and he makes it 17-0. Where have Connacht come from? 11th place on the table does not play like this. 6 minutes till half time. Glasgow need to make a play here before the break. Again, Jackson kicks off. It's to the left side. It's high. It drifts, but it's picked up from O'Halloran. Oh, that's a beautiful pass. McKeown gives it inside, feeds a nice at Henshaw, but he's taken from Maitland. It is all the green of Connacht at the moment. Murphy goes for a run, changes his mind, gives it to Nobu, who goes diving into the tackle again. God, he's having such an amazing match. There's George Naupu.
Advantage.
It's an advantage for Glasgow. Was that forward? Oh, that is harsh. Falloon, the try scorer. Pinged for a forward pass. If we see a replay, there's no chance this was forward. Oh, no chance at all.
Crouch.
The ref has made a meal of it, but he's given Glasgow
Sit.
that little chance they might need just before the break. Scrum feed for Cussiter. Oh, but look at Connacht. Oh, Glasgow hit back. Oh, this is a real topsy-turvy scrum. It's still in there, but now Cussiter finds it. Strauss picks it up and goes for a run. He's
Release.
taken down. Great tackle from Murphy. Now it's Harley going wide for Cusack. All this space out here. It's Swinson. He's out there all by himself though. Where's his support? Where's his big runners? It's Cusack. I guess that's a big runner. Harley's on it again. Strauss. Now they look left. It's MacArthur. What is going on with these big front rowers?
Release.
All three of them having a bit of a trundle there. Seymour looks wide. McGeegan.
Advantage.
Now the backs are getting us. Advantage to Glasgow. As Dunbar looks to use it. And it eventually falls in the hands of the Connacht player. Murphy picking up the loose ball. Are we going to have this penalty? Surely we'll have the penalty. Yes, we will. What can they do here, Glasgow? But tap and go. And they do exactly that. They go wide for Dunbar, who changes the direction. Oh, intercept! Oh, goodness me! Glasgow have come unstuck completely. Ball goes to ground and can't be picked up. Well, that was unlucky. They couldn't get a hold of that. Now they swing it wide. It's there for O'Halloran again. He's broken the line with ease, but it's driven into touch. Griffin putting his foot over the line, trying to catch that loose pass, but they won't mind Connacht because they've had all the play. Glasgow have just shot themselves in the foot time after time, and any semi-finalist team watching this match will be licking their lips and hoping that it's raining when they play their semi-final. Connacht leads 17-0. Glasgow 29% of the ball, 22% of territory, 11 handling errors, only 3 line breaks. Connacht on the other hand, 70 for possession and territory. They've won the scrums, they've got the penalties, made just 3 handling errors and have an impressive 5 line breaks. So does Connacht, the 11th place Connacht. It's the Newcastle Falcons all over again here. These lower place sides are finding a lease on life and ruining the life of these top 4 sides. Of course, this is just about as best side as you could get for Glasgow, and they are, well, they're faltering big time here, and they're trailing by 17-0 at the break. Let's get back down for the second half, which is about to get underway if the pitch isn't flooded by now. What can they do here, Glasgow? Can they find that magic play? Jackson kicks off and we're back underway for the second half of round 22 of the Rabodirect Pro 12. And it's Connacht leading 17-0, would you believe it? And it's turned over for Glasgow. That's what they needed. McGeegan's running. McGeegan's stepping. McGeegan's through. Oh, he couldn't find the outside man and he's injured. Oh, Byron McGeegan. Key man. And the key centre, the key inside centre, Byron McGeegan is out. He is injured. Oh, this is a horrible match for Glasgow.
Crouch.
Hogg is
Touch.
going to come on to replace him. Of course, he played in the centres
Sit.
last week in round 21. But boy, that should have been a try. McGeegan should be celebrating an assist. But in the end, he is on the sidelines. Lamont was free and open too. Amazing. This game is just catastrophes for Glasgow. They pick off the scrum through Strauss, and Cussiter makes a poor play. Vernon Scrum half Vernon goes to Seymour. Here's Hunter in the line. Good play, MacArthur. Oh, MacArthur stepping. Wow, there's a first for everything here. Here's Vernon, scrum half Vernon again. Down the short side, looking to link up with Hogg. Intercepted from Connacht. And they will run it out from their own line through White. Giving to O'Halloran. Breaks through 3 tackles. Goes to ground.
Release.
The right winger is playing a brilliant match today for Connacht. Now they look to the left side through Henshaw. Still no ball here for Glasgow. Unbelievable. As it is kicked away from Murphy. That's a massive punt as well. Back goes Maitland. Oh, he steps. He's through. Sean Maitland breaking the first line. Comes up against the defence and a good tackle from Duffy. But he's up to halfway, and he's given the ball for Strauss. Strauss is through. Now, Strauss and Naupu. Who's got the pace? The number 8s are having a ball game here. And it is Strauss to score. And it is back in the match for Glasgow. Sean Maitland sparked this match to life with a beautiful break. But Strauss pick and go off the back of the ruck. And he had plenty of pace to get away from his opposite number, just like it was earlier when Naupu did the same to Strauss. Glasgow have taken over half the match to finally get their form going. But the coaches, well, they'll be sweating on the fitness of Byron McGeegan. What a blow, what a massive blow. But they have to worry about this match first, the Glasgow players, before they can think about missing McGeegan for the semi-final. Who could take his place? Oh, the dilemmas that Glasgow have. As Jackson lines up his kick from right in front. 56 gone, 7 on the board for Glasgow, but they still trail by 10. 17-7, they need to score again very quickly as well. It's the comeback on the books. Of course, they've done a lot of comebacks and fallen short a number of times, losing by 2 or 3 points. It's kicked off from Parks, who had a great first half, and it's knocked on from Glasgow, and it's advantage to Connacht. Quickly over as Naupu somehow gives it to Murphy. Now there's space on the left, and Pullman gives it inside for Parks, who gets smashed. Keeping alive for McEwen as he goes up. Oh, beautifully through about 6 tackles. How are they keeping this alive? Wilkinson, wide. It's going to be another try for Connacht. Knock it down for Henshaw. This game is all over. Connacht are destroying the Glasgow Warriors just before their semi-final. Robbie Henshaw, but how did they do this? Connacht, how do they get these passes away? It's just beautiful rugby. Keeping the ball alive. That run there from McEwen was just outstanding. He bust off about 4 tacklers, and then it was just hands through the back line. Catch and pass. And eventually Henshaw the benefactor, and that will sew this match up for Connacht. They will take their 4th win of the Rabodirect Pro 12 season, and they will send Glasgow to the semi-finals with nothing but poor form on their backs. Parks converts beautifully. And Connacht is screaming away with this one, 24-7. 62 gone. Of course, if Glasgow had scored that try instead, there would have just been 3 points in this match. Instead, though, it's back out to 17 as it is kicked off again from Jackson. Oh, it's left to bounce. It sits up for Seymour. And a poor pass. Strauss has to go back for it. Dunbar hasn't done much tonight, has Dunbar. A poor match for him. Away for Hogg in the back line. Passing it to no one. Looking for Lamont. Hasn't found him at all, but he's found the Connacht players. Back it goes for Parks, who gets monstered.
Release.
Massive shot coming in from Cassida. And it goes back to Glasgow. Jackson running in the gaps. Hogg looking to step and force his way through. Hogg, beautiful run, but taken down from Duffy. Cassida, away to Kellick. Spinning it wide for Dunbar, knocks it on. Oh, dear me. Could things get any worse here for Glasgow? It was 3-on-2 and Dunbar has spilt it like it was a ball of soap. He still had Jackson. He still had Lamont,
Crouch.
who has been luckless
Touch.
out there on the right wing. Completely
Sit.
nothing to play with. 71 gone. Connacht with the scrum feed. A 17-point lead. Glasgow are taking home nothing from their trip away to Connacht here. Murphy looks to the right for Henshaw, who decides to play a little bit of territory, and he kicks it down to probably one of the better players from today's match, Maitland. Oh, Maitland, he plays with fire there a bit, but eventually it comes off. Vernon's open. Nicely to Seymour. Now here's someone who's been really quiet but can break a game open. Seymour is in touch. Another beautiful tackle from Duffy. He has to be the player of Connacht's day. Although you could say that about a number of their players. Again, Cooney will throw in. He goes to the front and is stolen from Swinson. Now, what can they do here? Jackson's on the ball. He's got it to Dunbar. Looking for Hogg. Hogg will go around the outside. Good run here from Hogg. Can he find some support? Oh, he's throwing an intercept pass. Oh, that just unbelievable stuff. Murphy goes wide. It's kicked again from Pullman. It sits up nicely for Seymour, who will take a run back at them. Full time goes. Oh, Seymour! He's through! Here's a run! Duffy coming across! Duffy can't get him. He does get him. Cullick. Dunbar going for the line. He's just a metre or two short. Glasgow are fighting hard here for something from this match. Hogg has the pass to Lamont, and Lamont will dot down and finish this off. Glasgow get the final say, but Connacht have been outstanding for almost the whole 80 minutes. That should have been a hat-trick for Lamont. He has had 2 overlap passes either been knocked on or have been injured player. Of course, when McGeegan got injured, that was a 2-on-1 overlap, and then it was Dunbar as well, a 3-on-2 overlap with that man, Lamont on the outside. This time, Hogg was able to finish. But taking the positives from today's match, Maitland has been quite good at the back. Hopefully he can bring that form to the wing next week when Hogg returns to fullback. But there is trouble there with McGeegan. Oh, that's going to be disastrous if he is out. Jackson will wind this match up with the final kick of the match. Strikes it in the rain. It looks good. It's nice. And it is sliding inside the right-hand upright. They take the lead back down to 10, but Connacht are taking the win home. 24-14. The 11th place side have produced a fantastic display. They've come out on top versus Glasgow. And remember back to round 4 when Connacht got smashed 42-7. Well, they've got their revenge, and the season is defined by matches like this from the lowly clubs like Connacht. 3 tries to 2, but the difference was just so much more. 24-14 the final score, and the try scorer is going to Falloon, Nopu and Henshaw. Parks with 3 from 3, and also got a penalty goal to go with that to give them 24 points. As for Glasgow, well, they come back in the second spell, but they just weren't themselves. Their ball retention was average, and just their support play and finishing was subpar, very subpar. Strauss and Lamont got the tries. Strauss's try was very good. It was beautifully created from a Sean Lamont break, and then he just picked and went from that ruck, and he was gone. Lamont should have had a bag full of tries, but, well, he just had the worst luck there on the right wing. Players getting injured, players knocking on, players falling all over the place, but not delivering that final pass that he could have finished off a match-winning display. Jackson got 2 from 2 and round out their scoring at 24-14. Well, it was pretty even in full time when it comes to territory and possession. 46-54 for both. Connacht taking out those stats. Tackles were pretty even as well, 41-39. Connacht making 2 extra tackles. But line breaks, look how Glasgow come back, 10-6. But it just was not enough in this pouring weather. The rain is just summing up the display from Glasgow. Tears are in the sky. They've gone down to Connacht by 10 points. And like I said at the start, you cannot take these lowly placed sides too lightly at all. As we saw the Newcastle Falcons beating the Northampton Saints, now we have Connacht, a 10-point victory over the Glasgow Warriors. Let's check out what the final standings are and who we have come up against in the semi-final. Of course, that 4th spot was already confirmed, but boy, you wouldn't have wanted to put your house on this match. So the final round of the competition, round 22, a full set of results. Let's go through them now. Zebri at the top, they're going down to Munster. Of course, Connacht, big win, 24-14 over Glasgow, unbelievable stuff. Edinburgh got the win over the Newport Gwent Dragons. Leinster over Ospreys. Scarlets, a close one over Treviso. And Ulster finished off the season, the regular season, in a flurry of tries, 64-3 over the Cardiff Blues. Well, that's bad news for round 22, but it gets worse as we look to the semi-finals, where Ulster will host the Glasgow Warriors. Is there any stopping this Ulster side? Leinster will host the second semi-final, where they will face Ospreys for the second versus third semi-final. Of course, first versus fourth is Ulster versus Glasgow. The final standings at the end of the season: Ulster 21 wins and 1 loss. Of course, that loss was to Glasgow, and it was way back in round 1. Leinster finished up second, 94 points. If you look at that, Ulster as well got 103 points for the season. Leinster wrapped up second, 94 for them. Ospreys third, and 83. But Glasgow, an absolute world off the pace. No bonus points for them at all. Just 9 compared to the top 3. They got 19, 18 and 15. 69 points. Munster were in the fight for a while until they got hammered from Glasgow, and that killed off their season of top 4 contention. They finished on 61. Scarlets 56. Zebri and Edinburgh tied up on 47, but it was a long way back down to Treviso on 28. Cardiff Blues on 22. Connacht, well, up to 18 after that massive win, their 4th. And then the Newport Gwent Dragons round out the 12 teams with just 5 points. Of course, we come back here, there is bad news, more bad news. If it couldn't get any worse, we look like we will be without McGeegan. Let's have a little quick look. He is out for 17 days, which means if we make the final, he is out for that as well. He was our real form player. But we have a massive hole at inside centre. Who's going to fill that hole? Feel free to contribute any ideas, because we are really low on players here. Maybe a return for Van der Merwe, maybe Maitland into the centres. Hogg could come into the centres as well. So we have Peter Horn, to mention a few other players in the reserves as well. So that is what we have. Who's going to fill that centres role? Well, it's all disaster. Round 22 has absolutely smashed the window for the Glasgow Warriors. And that wraps us up for today's match. It is Connacht with the win. And we can look forward to the semi-finals of the Rabodirect Pro 12. The Glasgow Warriors travelling away to face Ulster. And that could be messy. That could be very messy. But I hope to see you there. I'll be there with the match. And until then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's match. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you like the series, and I'll see you all next time for the semi-final. Until then, take care.